Oh, oops.
I mean,
Yeah.
start, of course, started 10-0. That's 8 wins on.
There we go.
Course.
There we go. That looks fine.
Round of limited, but actually got a little bit of revenge. Played Julian 2 rounds in a row, 11 and 12.
Oh man.
One of them is limited, one of them is constructed. So took care of Grixis Elementals in round 12, and now, as you mentioned, Maria,
I've kind of been paying attention to what's been going on today, but I didn't really get to watch too much of the draft stuff.
You already mentioned the 10 wins. That's done.
Yeah, absolutely, and he hasn't standard yet here this weekend. Here's a look at 20.
Alright, well, I
achieved his goal as well, which was to
probably just gonna end up doing the same way I did yesterday. We're just kind of going and going and going.
16 at World Championship number 31.
I think Tony
Come on.
needs to stop being so
I was
humble.
about to say the same thing.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Look, this guy was second, almost Player of the Year last year.
Alright, I'm gonna be doing the Mox Amber first, just because that one's easy.
Aim a little higher, buddy.
I think he could aim a
just out here looking to make day 2.
Just a wee bit higher.
Oh, you make the day 2. I don't need that one yet.
The next Pro Tour. That'd
well,
be nice.
speaking of how well he's done, let's hear about his stats now a little bit more from Riley.
Tony is ranked #1 when it comes to limited win rate with an astonishing 79% of every
Jesus.
Tony wins 4 of them. Don't forget about Constructed though, with a 60% win rate. Tony has the 4th best overall win rate at 67%.
Well, you know, just I hope for Tony's sake at some point he's able to win a match limited. That'd be nice.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Hopefully you can win instead of 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. I think that might be a goal.
Those 10 wins are going to be a real struggle.
Tony, you are getting roasted here.
God, I can only imagine winning a game of limited.
This is the first time.
Oh, jeebs.
His graphic. I don't know if we have his graphic. I'm gonna guess he went 5-1 in limited. That's my guess. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll go over it. Maybe we won't. I'm gonna guess 5-1 in limited.
All right, well, tell me about these decks in this matchup here, Monty.
All right, we're going to start by taking a look at Balaka's build of Jeskai Control. And I have to highlight, he has not lost a single game of Constructed yet this week.
What?
He is 12 and 0 when it comes to standard. Hasn't lost.
Oh my god.
And that's not, you know, that happens sometimes. It's hard to do with the Pro Tour. But with
No, I don't.
a control deck,
There we go.
that's not a common story. Jeskai Control is sweet. Very anti-creature. Of course, like everybody else in the room, he was targeting the Cubs decks, so having access to Lightning Helix, Get Lost, as well as Day of Judgment and Ultima, fantastic. But the fact that this deck is running one creature in the Unagi of Kyoshi Island and the rest of it is just, I'm going to Jeskai Revelation you out of the game. Super sweet. Now on the other side, we take a look at Tony and Team Sanctum Evolve's build of Teamer Harmonizer, or as they like to call it, Teamer Twin. Now the entire goal is to warp out Might Form Harmonizer,
Nice.
put a landfall trigger, 2 of them ideally with Fabled Passage on the stack, full bore the Harmonizer, and that is...
Oh, it gives it. I thought it doubles its own power.
Cross, if they explain the math to me correctly. Very sweet deck, very reminiscent of some of the past Teamer combo decks that Team Sanctum has come up with in Standard. The rest of the deck is really just supporting finding these combo pieces, and again, anti-creature tools. So a lot of common elements, but this is the type of deck that can really suffer against control because you have one very strong primary game plan.
Sure.
And they are all answers all the time.
Wow, okay, well, let's find out what happens here in this matchup. First, though, we're going to hear from Tony Portolan, the man who has been roasted himself, talk to Tannen before the match.
Everyone, I'm catching up with Tony Portolan here. And Tony, you had a great season last year. Really strong finishes across the board. You're very close to another top 8 berth here, even though you've got a tough matchup for you right in front of you. What's the secret? How do you have such a good year last year and you're starting out so strong?
Well, I think there's 3 things I think that are important. The first thing, know how to play limited, and I think I have a positive limited score in all the PTs and the worlds I've played. Second one, have a great team. Sanctum is an amazing team of great deck builders who can support you. Without a team, it's hard. And third, family and friends that support me from home that really make this more important to me and to the community.
Awesome answer. Thanks, Tony. Best of luck in this round.
What a guy.
There is Tony Portolan heading over to the table now for his feature match up against our tournament leader, Marco Balaka. And there you see the handshake between those players. Good sportsmanship as always. And I checked into it for you, Cedric. 5-1 and
Yeah.
limited.
It's just numbers.
No, it's
Yeah.
positive.
It's 4 out of 5.
The
Great.
way he sees it is just he's positive.
You know, I
Positive.
He could have done better.
appreciate. And truth be told, he may not know that he is this good yet, right? Like he may not have digested that. Like I am just kind of crushing right now, and he just hasn't hit all the way home yet. Because again, Player of the Year race last year, off to a great start again this weekend. 5-1 unlimited. All the things he just said are definitely ringing true.
I know, I'm very excited to find out who wins this next matchup. I'm winning in for Marco, but will Tony keep him out of that top 8, at least for now? Let's find out. I'm going to send it on over to Marshall and Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Welcome back to the booth here at Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. And, man, Tony Portolon crushing it Magic. He crushed that interview, I have to say. That guy has a good head on his shoulders. He knows exactly what's important to him and what gets him across the finish line when it comes to winning games of Magic. His opponent, however, also smashing 11-1 in this tournament like today. He can win right now.
I think he just lost.
The top 8 right now. If you get to 12,
Round 2 unlimited today.
Absolutely crushing the field. Honestly, I mean, we kind of saw the breakdown. Basically, if you're not playing Badger Mole Cub, you're doing pretty well for yourself in this tournament.
That's pretty funny.
played this deck if you were queued, right? That just
I mean,
get your hands on that.
Certainly would have been one of my top options here. But now we have this interesting scenario where we have kind of 2 decks that were positioned to beat the Cub decks. Which one will come out on top when they play against each other?
One with the Cub counter when no one's playing Cubs.
One of the most interesting builds in the field.
I wonder if because of this, I'm kind of hoping the Badger Cup goes down a little bit. I still need to buy one for Lumra.
Mightform Harmonizer that it kind of looks like a joke, right?
Oh.
This, I can, it's like, yeah, that's cool, but hey, we're playing at the Pro Tour, and it turns out that combo is plenty good enough for the Pro Tour.
Yeah, the issue is this just feels like it might be one of the tougher matchups here for Tony. You're relying on this kind of creature-based combo finish while also playing this control-style game against a pure control deck that has a lot of different answers. Now, the one thing that's good here...
Oh, the good thing I
removal,
almost forgot to swap.
Sorcery speed removal in those sweepers, which is not good against the combo, and then cards like Lightning Helix, which are also not very good at killing Ice Till Explorer and the Mightform Harmonizer. One of the most important cards in this matchup, at least early on to stop the combo, will be the 4 copies of Get Lost in Marco's deck, because that's a nice way to kind of break up the combo.
Yeah, we see No More Lies and Get Lost as 2-mana interactive spells in the early to mid part of the game. Particularly Get Lost, as you mentioned, Paul. I mean, what does this look like? If Tony wins a game here, what does that actually look like? He's in that unenviable position of being a deck that's like, you want to be on polar opposites, right? Or you want to be the one that's like one step slower, and that is Marco here.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're going to see is the matchup kind of playing out a lot like a control matchup, where both players are just going to play land, say go, and just cast a bunch of card draw spells and try to sculpt a perfect hand and pick their spots here. Now, Bossing Say is a pretty nice card in this matchup, as it allows you to put a little bit of pressure on your opponents and kind of force Marco to kind of do something, because you are able to generate a 2/2 every turn.
We see Earthbender Ascension go on the stack here. It's going to get No More Lies.
Yeah, and take a look at this Moonrise Village there, playing around Spell Snare.
How much was Moonrise?
And I think that Moonrise Village is going to be one of the more important cards in this matchup as well, because you're going to be trying to position yourself to basically go for the combo with counterspell backup. But
too many cards.
Moonrise Village and then play Get Lost to target the Mightform Harmonizer. There's nothing Tony can do.
Wow, that is mean.
Yeah.
All right, looks like a second Earthbender Ascension on the battlefield here for Tony. So he's got something going forward now.
Yeah, but
I'm looking at Marco. That is not a worried-looking Magic player right there.
He is completely fine with this. He'll even take the damage here. I bet he might be interested in firing off the Consult the Star charts. Although Tony did represent.
I gotta find my consult still.
You want to pick your spot.
Let's see how much it actually is. I didn't do that yesterday.
Mana, make the Consult the Star.
I kind of forgot about it.
And cast it. Certainly, you could fire off a Lightning Helix. We already talked about how Lightning Helix isn't particularly strong in this matchup. So, hey, look, there's a target right now.
How big is Jeskai Revelation? You know, it seems to be one of the primary win conditions or features for the deck. How is that going to play out in this matchup?
Well, I mean, the longer and longer the game goes, you can just kind of start firing these off. There's not a lot of counter magic from Tony's main deck. We're looking at 2 copies of Spider Sense, basically, as the only way to kind of counter this spell.
Yeah, we can see that once Marco gets up to 7 mana, which is just 1 away, he's already got 2 copies of Jeskai Revelation in hand. And even if you've only got 1, they tend to feed into each other. You kind of can change.
Get one, you get next.
2 turns in a row, back-to-back Jeskai Revelations. It's just extremely difficult to come back from that.
Now, Tony is the first one to be able to resolve Consult the Star Charts, but Marco will be able to do the same with that Moonrise Village. Also look at the top 6 cards and find what he needs. Probably just wants to continue hitting his...
I don't remember a land called Moonrise Village, I'll be honest.
You can see some of the control elements in Tony's hand here with his Spell Snare, Into the Flood Maw, Burst Lightning, his interactive stuff, and then Consult the Star Charts is kind of just a good card in general for whatever kind of deck you're running.
I think he's mispriced.
Decks running the full
I don't know.
card draw effects that people have been playing in the blue decks. 4 copies of Consult, 4 copies of Stock up here, but then Marco has the ability to go over the top with 4 copies of Jeskai Revelation, which is not standard, at least until we kind of came into this. Usually most people playing 2, 3, choosing other various ways to kind of close out the games, and the Italian team just going, you know what, no, we're just going to go all in on the Jeskai Revelations.
That is the win con.
I love that.
Same.
So
I think I like that. I think it's good enough for me.
Fabled Passage.
Yep, Earthbender Ascension starting to tick up. Needs to get to the 4th counter before you can start putting +1/+1 counters on your creature. And Bossing Say also being activated here, so this is a little bit of pressure here.
And Marco's going to cast an uncounterable, Consult the Star Charts.
Yeah, and by the way, 2 copies of the Mistrise Village too. So
Oh, that's the wrong way.
matches like this, you will find the card, and it looks so strong here.
Yeah, control players are always really concerned about getting their stuff countered.
Yeah. And it happens every time. Even if it's not correct, control players hate losing the mirror. They will always, you'll see like a card in the sideboard where you're like, this probably shouldn't be here, but they just do not want to lose in the mirror. And you'll just see random additional cards.
It's true.
And the Village is kind of one of those cards.
So 6 lands on the battlefield here for Balaka. He's getting a chance to really sift through his library and get what he needs.
Gets 2 lands.
Yeah, just hitting land drops does seem to be the name of the game for him, but he's got plenty of action in his hand.
Oh, Rest in Peace. Now,
so what does that do here?
I believe that's an interesting interaction actually with Earthbent lands, where when you play this, and if it resolves, if you sweep the board, the lands don't come back onto the battlefield, I believe.
Really? Is it an instead, or is it a...
But they come back from the graveyard too.
Yeah, well,
Or exile.
Oh, they do come back? Okay.
I believe that's what Marco said.
All right.
Sad.
I'm going to blame somebody in the green room.
Did you ask a judge, or did you ask a co-commentator of ours? Because
you know, I'm not.
I'm going to tell you.
Say it was somebody in the green room.
We got a lot of really high-level judges in the building, Paul.
Should have asked.
That's kind of wild that Earthbend can make him come back from exile too.
I do, though, see a copy of Ultima in hand for Balaka, and that does just end the turn. So those triggers would go away, right? At least that takes care of those potentially. But in reality, you know, bossing say does mean that there's just going to be a steady stream of small to medium-sized threats for as long as Tony wants it. It is hard to imagine that actually closing out the game, though.
Yeah, I mean, especially because we're kind of getting to the point where Marco can start firing off Jeskai Revelations end of turn. And like I mentioned before, Tony only has 2 counter spells that can actually deal with the Revelation.
Also been an interesting draw here for Tony in that, look at the hand. Like, where's all the creatures?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
got
what am I missing?
3 Ice Tail Explorers and 4 copies of the Mightform Harmonizer.
I mean, that
Does have a couple copies of stock up, so
that's some value on the hand.
oh, it does have plenty of interaction here that he is going to look to fire off here.
An uncounterable Lightning Helix.
Yep, on the 2/2 here, as there's an escape tunnel in play. So if you targeted the 3/3, Tony could have sacrificed the escape tunnel, get a land, trigger the Earthbender Ascension, and put a +1/+1 counter on the 3/3 land.
And that'll help keep Marco's life total a little higher.
Yeah, but it's just 4 damage, right?
I want to double check what the card actually says.
No Mightform Harmonizer shenanigans just yet. That is another land, and we're also getting to the point, by the way, once you get to 9 mana, you can start firing off uncounterable Jeskai Revelations.
That does seem to be the game plan here for Marco. And once he gets the first one going, it is tough to come back from that.
Right. Okay, looks like a stock up here. Probably just going to let that one resolve. There's so few cards that I think actually matter for Marco.
I know all the star charts and stock ups. Marco's just like, yeah, knock yourself out, buddy.
That's the only thing I care about.
Have at it.
Especially with the Rest in Peace too, the Ice Tail Explorer don't do a whole lot. The only thing you're really concerned about is Mightform Harmonizer.
Right. And he does have to worry about it because full bore means that the turn it comes down, it could become a lethal threat. So Marco has to respect that. But
yeah, just being patient, going down to 12, and not firing off the Jeskai Revelation.
Ooh, not firing it off.
Does have land number 9, so can go either uncounterable Jeskai Revelation or possibly, like I said, the only thing that you can use to counter the Jeskai Revelation is Spider Sense. So Spell Snare is a good answer to that as well.
Another Consult, but again,
you could Spell Snare this.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But again,
Marco's like, whatever. Draw all the cards that you need. That's fine. Like, I know what's important. It is the Mightform Harmonizer. That's what I want to answer. And by having access to an uncounterable Jeskai Revelation, I should be able to stop what you're trying to do. Because remember, I mean, you can bounce the 5/5. You can counter the Harmonizer, or rather return it to hand. And Tony,
it's funny because it's exactly what we were just talking about. But Tony's like, how does this card mess up my plan? He's asking for an Oracle reading on Jeskai Revelation, I think. You can take a look at it on your screen here.
It does a lot.
That is a laundry list of awesome things for Marco.
Found something, deal 4 damage, create 2 1/1s.
7 mana over.
Draw 2, gain 4.
You know, if you're going to get to this level, you're going to get paid back for it, and this does.
And Tony probably is now feeling that pressure, right? Because Marco has gotten to 9 mana. You're playing against a deck that has 4 copies of Jeskai Revelation. You have to assume at this point that Marco has at least 1 copy of the spell in his hand. And if you play it a little bit too conservatively, just the Revelation chain is just going to build on itself, and that will close out the game quickly.
Yeah, part of being a control player, of course, especially in matchups like this, is knowing what cards you actually need to care about.
Right.
And that's what Marco knows. That's why he's let all these stock ups and things go.
think he's looking to warp in the Harmonizer this turn. And
Just take a
possibly
shot at
go
it.
for it here. He does have a full bore. Oh, actually has a second full bore here, so you can target the other token, the other creature here as well. I believe Marco will let this resolve.
I don't know. I'm just kind of here watching.
Also has access to Get Lost to
Yep.
make to do to.
I can't even tell you who's winning right now, though. These decks are kind of... One's real slow, one's real explosive, so...
Now, the Mightform Harmonizer, even though it's warped in, cannot attack unless
Just gotta wait and see what happens.
full bore.
Yeah. Now, once it hits
Yeah, two...
Tony's priority again,
Right.
so he can play a land, and Marco can't do anything until he gets priority again. Any trigger that goes on the stack or any passing of phases or turns. With
I think if it goes back to Marco's turn, though, he wins. Otherwise...
triggers are out.
Yeah.
he's got one spell snare to get lost.
Where and how.
Right.
First, I need to choose targets.
But it,
So
yeah.
the target will be
Right. In order to put a trigger on the stack,
But
you
the
do have to choose a target if it has one.
the 4 damage effect will not work on the Jeskai Revelation, given that
Here
both
for
of these
the
creatures are. The Harmonizer is a 4.
I don't know.
But you also have to assume Tony probably has a full bore.
and this is for
Also,
the
you can
front.
just crack the Fabled Passage in
Maybe
response, get a land, and then get
this
put a
is for
+1/+1 counter to save one of these creatures
trigger
off of
and
the
this
Jeskai
target.
Revelation. Now the
Yeah,
Revelation.
there's gonna be wild going on.
You can
Spell or
also
permanent?
you can also make a pair of 1/1s to chump. Now full board does give trample to the warped creature, so if you're gonna bounce something, it's going to be the Mightform Harmonizer.
results. So this is 5. This has double.
Double. So that's a 10-10. Or 10-5. No, it might be 10-10.
I think it's 10-5.
Okay.
Full bore.
Okay, here's the full bore.
All right.
So now is the time. Oh, Marco's just going to let it resolve. I suppose if you're just planning on
waiting,
returning it
waiting
to hand
to
anyway.
waiting for it to attack. Remember, you can't make either of these creatures unblockable with that escape tunnel. The creatures are simply too large.
And this is
Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn.
For escape tunnel.
For the escape tunnel. So if you do uncounterable, bounce the Harmonizer,
There we go.
make the 1/1s. You can then chump the 10. The 10-5. Does Tony have 2 removal spells here?
Does Marco?
No, Tony, because then you.
Oh, for each of the
if
tokens?
you kill both of the tokens, the creature on the right would be lethal, right? Presumably, you just crack one of these fetch lands, and all of a sudden, that's 20 damage from the creature on the right side. Now, does it
Which has trample.
right?
Like they both have trample.
Did the Earthbender Ascension? The Earthbender Ascension targeted the Harmonizer, correct?
Oh, okay.
But you can crack a land here, and then you can crack a land, and then
You do.
the right would
Would-
also have trample.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tony might have this.
Oh, I did this all in the wrong layer. Oops.
Did he just sneak a win through?
so you
Yeah,
bounce
he
this,
did.
right? 4 damage to
Yeah.
Well, looks like I had to redo all this. I am not winning.
gain 4, right?
You do gain
Game
4 as
monks.
part of this process as well.
You know, just like, well, I'm gonna crack both of these, and this
I'll
is just
check
gonna
one.
double twice.
And it has trample because of full bore.
Right, exactly. So it's an
Trigger.
8-powered
This one,
creature. It's gonna
I'll
have
check this one.
32 power with trample, and these
Wow.
2 1/1 prowess tokens are not gonna be
Trigger, I
enough.
put the
Not even close.
No.
yeah. Doesn't
Did
matter.
Marco
this
wait
one
too
resolves,
long?
Then it doubles.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's 9, 18,
because he had both
and then this
revelations,
trigger
Yeah.
resolves.
maybe it would have been better to just fire one
19,
off. If it
38.
gets countered, it gets countered. Fine.
Right.
But you're at least if Tony doesn't have the counter spell, you at least get to kind of put things in play.
man.
Wow, Tony.
Holy.
Awesome first game win from Tony Portalon. It looked like Marco had everything he needed to keep control.
That's still white.
And he did not.
Yeah, and I mean,
So
Tony,
it was 40 42 trample power coming across,
So
Ooh.
1632.
and then 10 from the other.
Right. Yeah.
So-
well, he dealt with the other one, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I'm just saying he sent in 42 trample and
yeah.
said, here,
No big deal.
even if you have a Jeskai
Right.
Revelation, I'm still sending enough trample.
Absolutely.
Holy smokes.
All right. We now get into kind of a sideboarded situation here.
He surveilled that
Yeah.
that lightning helix into the yard. Okay. 2 lands for each player so far.
Dang it.
Draw a card.
Oh, just cycling with Heritage Reclamation here.
You see the Ice Till Explorer now in hand for Tony.
May I go to discard?
Oh, missing.
Oh.
So
Here.
now we see why he wanted to draw
Right.
that card.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Oh no. Tony, what are you doing?
And Marco here, not
just-
missing his land drops.
He's going to consult, but he has no more lies in case something were to come down. Oh, no!
Oh my
Again for Tony Portal.
Oh no.
So Marco has the option to play out consult the star charts, but if Tony has a spell snare, and we see that he does, that would counter it. You almost, it's like you kind of want him to discard. Okay, he's just letting him do it just because next turn, you can just run out stock up here. That doesn't get spell pierced, and you still have no more lies backup.
He's going to pass the turn. Is
Okay.
he going to counter this and try to play the short game here?
Yeah, I feel like it was probably good to just go for a stock up this turn. Stock up plus no more lies just seems so clean.
No kidding. Oh, there's a land, but it's tapped
Okay.
for Portalani. Passes the
Yeah.
turn back. That's starting down.
Are we going to flash in a Tidebinder for some beatdowns?
It looks like he
Okay.
may be just taking a more proactive role.
All right.
17.
This is an unconventional line here.
Alright, looks like I'm just finishing up this one.
Find no more lies here.
I'm watching pretty much one game.
Be very, very big in case Tony goes land number 4 into a big. And he does.
And he
Okay,
can.
Tony
He
does.
found a mountain.
Yeah.
He finally did it.
So uncounterable. So that'll resolve. Marco will go for the consult the star charts here.
And it's going to get spell snared by
Might
Tony.
fight over this.
And he's
yeah.
going to fight over it.
I mean, it's just so strong to resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sirac only
5
draws you
lands.
cards if you counter a creature spell.
Keep those down. There you go, Marco. So he's going to get 2 of these cards.
Yeah. Some kind of removal spell. You know, that lightning helix like we saw in the graveyard would be nice to just get that Sirac off the battlefield.
You just have to take your medicine there. And
Yeah, just let them draw the card. There's just no other great way to answer it.
yeah, otherwise you're talking about a sweeper effect. And
Yeah, Tony does have a backup Sirac, however.
so he's kind of happy if this thing trades for a card one way or the other.
Sure.
He's going to
14?
drop down to 14 after the attack. Not going to block this time.
Has a stock up in hand, but choosing to. Huh?
Whoa, there's the stock up.
Sure.
Yeah. That is an annul, a get lost.
I guess I don't need this. I can plug in my phone. And we're going somewhere after I finish this card, probably. Where's the charger?
Gets a null and Jeskai Revelation. Can still play the land tapped here, probably.
Kind of already did.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to go untapped.
Right.
I guess he has more info now
Yeah.
about his hands. He's going to take the 2 damage too, and he's going to go
Ooh.
another land off the top here for Portalon, so that's good.
And just for anybody wondering, that is just a completely legal play. You can do that now.
With
where
lands, yes.
No extra known information. You're like, oh, I'm going to cast a spell. Nothing has happened, and then you can just play your land however you want.
Yeah, he just has to be careful because he played it and then kind of did the like,
Right.
you know, the
If
hand
if
motion.
passed
He
the
didn't
turn-
do it.
If
Yeah.
he passed the turn, that's one thing. But he just played the land, and then was like, no, actually, I'm going to cast this card.
Yeah, he just has to be careful because, you know, if a judge says,
Right.
I think maybe you did pass a turn, you know, that could be annoying for him. But in this case, that's not what happened at all. Here comes Sirac.
All right. 4 damage. This is a lot.
Is he thinking about get losting?
It looks like it here.
Oh, that's a lot
There's
of
a couple of
advantage
really
to Tony.
annoying creatures to deal with here. All right, and he is
Draw
going
card.
for it here. Tony gets to draw a card. And Marco going to be looking
Get
for a
to
removal
minus.
spell here for this Ice Tail Explorer as well.
And he gets 2 maps.
Yeah, Tony can utilize these on top of that. Doesn't really have anything else he can cast this turn. Oh no, he can. Okay, he's using the map, sure. Oh,
Nice.
card.
Do it again.
You can go.
He's going to pass.
This is a game, by the way, Tony discarded to hand size twice.
Totally. He is right back in this. Marco playing for top 8. But he has a very formidable foe, Tony Portolan. Close to winning Player of the Year last season.
Right.
I mean,
I
you're
just
talking
feel
about one of the best players going right now.
I feel like round 12 or 13.
Alright, that's done. Not time to color these in.
We always see him in the mix.
Every time.
Right? And he's just kind of locked for at least top 32, and he's always kind of playing for top 8.
Yeah, it is so hard to get to 10 and 2
Oh, oops.
Pro Tour, and it just feels like it's Tony o'clock. Bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you never lose a match in limited, it's a lot
Yeah,
easier.
70% or whatever he was at.
It's like, I believe I'm positive unlimited. He's 19 and 5.
I know. I like that he's humble.
Yeah.
Trigger.
I know a lot
Couldn't be me.
that win rate that would not be nearly so humble.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
that's you got something to brag about there.
And this active Ice Tail Explorer is problematic here, right? Because this is just 2 extra lands that Tony gets to play every single turn.
Yeah, those land woes are far behind now.
And, I mean, in a matchup like this, I mean, land drops are almost everything.
There's stock up. And he's going to let it resolve. By the way, stock up both players on 4 copies each of that card. It is one of the reasons to play blue in the format. It is so good.
Yeah, it's just kind of the baseline is 4 consult the star charts, 3 to 4 stock ups.
Yeah, I need that. I need that one from Strixhaven so bad.
Paul Chian.
I need it right now. Like, I don't care if we skip over turtles.
Stock up, consult with
I just want the pretty cards again.
Because you don't want to discard, right? You gotta.
I'd rather just keep drawing cards. I'm good with it.
I don't care about casting cards. I just want to draw cards.
Okay, 2 cards in the hand out of those 5 from stock up.
And Tony just trying to sculpt the perfect hand. I mean, at this point, Tony is the one who's kind of drawn more cards or gotten more resources now, right? I mean, the Sirach replaced itself. He's also cast some copies of stock up on it. That Ice Tail Explorer has survived 2 turn cycles.
Yeah, who's the control player now?
Marco's still trying to get to the point where he can fire off those Jeskai Revelations. Doesn't have the Mistrise Village.
I'm a card.
You think he'll still like play around Spell Pierce?
Possibly.
It kind of feels like he got a little punished in the first game for not being
Right.
a little more willing to fire those off.
Right.
Maybe that's looming in his mind. Maybe he's going to stick on the same game plan.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at a point, though, where it does feel like Tony is the one who's ahead, just given that there is that active Ice Tail Explorer, and Tony's been kind of sculpting his hand. So I feel like Marco will try to be a little more aggressive here.
This is a nice Spell Pierce target.
This is a nice Spell Pierce target, but now if it gets Spell Pierced, you have to think you have a higher likelihood of being able to resolve the Jeskai Revelation.
Yeah, but man, if you're in Tony, see, you have to do that, right? Because even just another land lets you play around it. Oh, and it's the village, too.
Is that 9 mana?
Yeah.
Wow, that was the perfect draw, actually, for Marco, right?
Yeah, it
Just
Ooh.
knows for sure that the Jeskai Revelation will resolve.
Draw a card.
cycle again.
All right, cycling end of turn here. So there's My Form Harmonized.
Wonder if there's any return targets.
Doesn't have full
Spells to their owner's hand. In standard right now.
haste.
I don't think there is.
Getting in. You see Tony boarding in a few more creatures there. Got that Quantum Riddler.
I'm curious on Tony's sideboard plans. Does he lean more into the combo? Does he go away from it?
Right. Maybe you shave some number of full boards because you never really want to draw multiple copies in this matchup.
And you're going to have time to find a bunch of cards, generally
Right.
speaking.
Yeah, so maybe you go down to 2, something along those lines. All right, go ahead. Same thing. Also, Marco doesn't have any counters. And one notable thing, by the way, in this Jeskai control deck, you know, a lot of the Jeskai control decks that you've seen, you usually see 2 to 3 copies of 3 steps ahead. Even Gab Nassif's Dimir control decks playing the full 4 copies. This Jeskai deck was really tuned to go after the Badger Mole Cub decks. So it's not, it's just like, it's trying to be as streamlined as possible, and you do not see those 3-mana counter effects in the main.
I wonder 2-mana. I need to look at 2-mana counters thinking about it.
Tony still
I don't know how many there are right now in standard. I don't think there's many.
Yeah, these are tough decisions here. Tony doesn't need more lands at this point. Given that
Oh wait, I need to get some ice out thinking about it. That's something I can play.
Perhaps at some point find a full bore if it's still left in the deck to try to go for a kill. Because we're kind of at that point. Remember, in the previous game, Tony, once Marco got to 9, Tony was like, okay, I think this is a turn. I need to go for it, right? Because we're at the point where Marco can start...
Actually, it's bargain. I think bargain's enchantments, not artifacts.
Can find a way to kind of close things out. And he got 2 full bores here with the stock up.
So now he has
like tokens and enchantments.
Right. He is a little bit shy on mana to kind of maybe do everything that he wants. Also, remember, there is no Earthbender Ascension in play, so he can't give the Ice-Tail Explorer trample here.
Yeah, that was critical in that first game.
Because both creatures were lethal.
Right.
And in this instance, it would be only the Harmonizer. So if you do have a Jeskai Revelation, you make it uncounterable, you can just bounce the Harmonizer.
I assume Tony is under the assumption that there's a Revelation waiting on the other side. So he's going to be making his decisions as if that were just the case.
Right. Now with the, given that you have a second Harmonizer, do you just consider running one out? Nope. Just waiting for next turn. I believe Tony is going to, given what we see, it feels very likely that he's going to go for something on the following turn.
It's wild. Tony's now ahead on lands. He's got 10.
Yeah.
Versus the 9 for Balaka on a game where he discarded a hand size twice on 2 lands.
Can Marco close this out here? Went 4 to the face, bounced the Ice-Tail Explorer. Tony's at 9. If you play 2 spells, that's a lethal attack here.
Consult the Star Rest in peace, so he's got it.
Now, and the only thing Tony has here is the ability to flash in a Songcrafter Mage.
Right.
So we'll see what Marco tries to go for here.
Start with Consult, trigger on the monks.
Yeah, and look at this, a 2-mana Consult. Knowing that next turn might be a dangerous one, I just want to find a spell here. If I can find something like a Lightning Helix off of this Consult the Star Charts, that's probably just game here. Remember, he still has the Mistrise Village to make something uncounterable.
It, however, is not Consult the Star Chart, so if Tony wants to respond.
Tony can go Songcrafter Mage Spell Snare. All right, what do you have? That is a Lightning Helix.
There's the Helix.
That is most likely going to lock it up here, at least for game number 2.
These are 2 kind of unlikely lines of play.
Right, because, I mean, this is, if you cast a Lightning Helix, you get Tony down to 6, you have 3 3-powered attackers.
Yeah, right.
Right? Run out, rest in peace as well.
That's just more triggers.
Don't even have to cast a Lightning Helix. Yes.
Oh, and this also forces the issue on a Songcrafter.
Right, this puts it on Tony.
And Tony's going to go for it.
And you can't really counter this, so I think you just let this resolve.
And he wants to take a quick look at the graveyard to see what are you actually going for.
Nothing great here. Consult, Essence Scatter. There's no removal.
Right.
That's the important.
That's the thing. Tony's deck is more combo focused than that.
Oh, is he just going to fire off a No More Lies just to trigger prowess and tap Tony out? I think that's what he's going for here.
Yeah, and this would be the third
Right,
prowess
third
trigger
spell.
for the monks.
Yeah. Now, you can't make an uncounterable Lightning Helix anymore, but it might not matter.
He's really looking and saying, what are you actually going to get
Right.
that I care about
Like,
here?
Cast Consult. I
Right.
don't think there was anything like a Burst Lightning in the graveyard. Yeah, he's like, go for it. If you play something big, I can also cast No More Lies there if I need.
Yeah,
And by the way,
and
he's
Burst
got a
Lightning's-
spell
Yep.
snare.
Yeah, and he's got a spell snare
If Marco
too.
goes for Consult, you can just spell snare that and still have mana for No More Lies and Lightning Helix.
3/3.
Currently.
Right.
But there's
So 4/7.
2 prowess triggers on the stack as well from Rest in Peace, as well as Rest in Peace being on the stack.
Okay, so there's Consult here.
I wonder what he can find.
You can just spell snare this, or just let it resolve. Spell snare does trigger prowess, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
So these are 4/4 monks now.
They're going to be 5/5s after the trigger resolves, right?
Damn, some big monks.
Piece
Consult,
Consult.
and there was something else, right?
Well, he can just cast Lightning Helix.
Yeah,
there, go to
Helix
the
is good
face,
enough anyway.
and have No More Lies as well.
Lightning
Yeah.
Helix, you,
That should get it done.
and that's going to do it. Game number 2 goes to Marco Balaka, fighting for a top 8 seat and trying to push Tony Portolon just a little further away from that top 8. And I got to say, after having played against him here, he's probably hoping he doesn't make top 8. Tony is a tough customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marco on 6.
Marco
the
on
draw.
6. Okay.
Good to go.
Who sideboarded in Voice of Victory here, which should make you feel much better when you're trying to go for those kind of the counterspell wars here. Also kind of forces you to cast those Consult the Star charts at main phase.
Looked like Tishana's Tidebinder on top of the library from the Surveil there.
Hmm.
And
Well-
it looks like he just wants action.
Little blue-white tempo start. Turn 2 Voice of Victory, turn 3 Shauna's Tidebinder.
Yeah,
I mean, Tony probably boarded out a decent number of removal spells.
definitely. He doesn't want to try to fight the fight against, monks and stuff like that.
Right.
He needs to try to
And now Tony
I want to fight the monks.
just going for that here. Hey, he does have that Mindform Harmonizer, right? So there is a world where, I mean, if you're Marco, you have to, of course, respect the combo, but he does have the Tishana's Tidebinder to counter the effect of the Mindform Harmonizer. Or the Icetail Explorer. No card draw, though, for Marco. Ooh.
Yep.
Spell Pierce and a Sandman Shifting Scoundrel.
16.
Sandman.
Very, very solid creature.
Another Spider-Man card?
Getting in for 3.
let the beatdowns commence.
Sandman.
That is currently a 4/4. Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. And you can just kind of bring this back from the graveyard. So really annoying creature to deal with.
Very annoying. It's
If you
huge.
kill it with Get Lost, you can just kind of get it back.
Yeah, he really needs to have his.
You do need to have a
Rest in
land
peace.
card in your graveyard, though, to actually be able to return this from the graveyard to the battlefield, which works really well with the fetch lands that you have in the deck.
It has to bring itself and a land back.
Yeah, you
together.
can't bring it back if you. I believe you can't bring it back. Maybe I'm wrong again here, but I believe you can't bring it back unless you actually have a
It
land
says
to
and
target.
target land, so
Yeah.
you have to target a land there.
I remember thinking I could bring it back. This was unlimited and
Mm-hmm.
failing to do so.
Well, it looks like Marco is taking this aggressive line. He killed it with Get Lost, temporarily killed it, let's say.
Right.
And he keeps chipping
Oh.
away.
Oh, and there is a land that
I'm gonna do this now.
graveyard here. All right.
And he's going to mill one in there with the Explorer anyway.
Right. can also play, yeah. This is all good. So Tony, and Marco, okay. I mean, he's got something going here, but he's got a pair of Jeskai Revelations. He's still pretty far away from kind of getting that online.
Book one. Take two.
And I guess
Down
Tony
to
is down to 11.
He is.
Dang it.
Revelations are a burn plan when
Right.
you get to that point, but he's a little ways off still. And I guess he hasn't found a target for his Tidebinder that he's happy with, especially now that he's facing down a 2-4, and that
Right.
Sandman might even come back, and it's bigger too.
And Tony does have to be mindful of get lost, to Shauna's Tidebinder, all kinds of stuff, not sacrificing the escape tunnel to get a land here. I mean, you can kind of make it make the Ice Tail Explorer unblockable and then start pumping it off of the Mindform Harmonizer. Maybe try to sneak a bunch of extra damage through that way. So has a decision with the escape tunnel. Choosing to give himself access to the land here instead, thin out the deck a little bit as well. Of course, if you can hit something like a Bossing Say, that would be great.
Okay, there's the Tidebinder now hitting the battlefield.
There is a Tidebinder now, but there's only 1 mana available now, right?
Mhm.
If Tony can find, I guess he doesn't have another fetch land here, but if he can find a full bore here, he is Marco is vulnerable to warped in Mightform Harmonizer plus full bore, but no fetch land, as the Ice Tail Explorer has been turned off.
It's just the 2-4 for now.
But there are those map tokens. You can grow it as well. I mean, this can certainly be an instance where you just go, you know what? All right, we're on the beatdown plan here. I'm just going to cast Mindform Harmonizer and play a land. Oh, is this a Quantum Riddler instead? This might be a hard cast Quantum Riddler
Does look
instead.
like it.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Because then you give yourself a giant evasive flyer off of the Mindform Harmonizer next turn.
And there it is.
All right. And there's a Thornspire Verge, so you can even play that. Grow the Ice Tail Explorer. Ooh, that's a second Ice Tail Explorer. So now that's a 3/5. Seems like a pretty important card here. And I think Tony kind of wants to try to end this game here before Marco can start firing off those Jeskai Revelations. Although having that Spell Pierce in your hand is a great feeling, given that Marco's still only on 5 lands.
Yeah, Marco has 1 more land in hand and would need another at the next 2 draw steps to be able to even attempt a Jeskai Revelation.
Right. I mean, he kind of just needs to find a way to kill that Quantum Riddler, right? Doesn't have anything.
We're riddling.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he did keep that Riddler, and he did find the land.
Yeah, and if it's another land, I mean, he's got the Steam Vents in hand, sure. I wonder if it's a land. No, he's got the land, so he probably doesn't need
Probably
another.
not. Yeah, Marco doesn't really have the luxury of playing around much.
Yeah, but now if you're on Tony's side, you can. Lots of options here. You can kind of start things off with the Ice Tail Explorer that you kept on top. Perhaps warp in Mindform Harmonizer and then just start playing a bunch of lands.
This is where Tony would love to know what's in hand here for Marco, because from what we can see,
Right.
he just has nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
look,
he can't do anything.
Jeskai Revelation is a very, very sweet Magic card. It still costs 7 mana. When you play 4 copies, you can have games like this that happen, right? Where you would much rather that be a 5 mana spell,
Right.
interactive spell, a creature, or what have you. But sometimes you just draw multiple copies, and if you don't have the time to cast it, your opponents can just kind of close things out.
But of course, Tony doesn't know that, and there's 3 cards and 5 mana available.
Absolutely. Ice Tail Explorer here.
Yeah, this is the one he kept on top with that map token last turn.
And this will resolve.
Marco doing his best to feign as if he has a choice.
Yeah, the interesting thing here from Tony's side is you kind of want to leave up the Spell Pierce.
Right.
But you might be interested in also warping in a Might Form Harmonizer. You could potentially play the forest out of the graveyard, then cast Might Form Harmonizer.
Oh, he's going
Oh,
for
no,
the
he's
Harmonizer
warping.
right here.
He's warping.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, this would technically be lethal here. He hasn't played a land yet this turn, right?
Right.
So you warp this in, you play Escape Tunnel twice, and then that's what? 32, 8, 16, 32 damage from the Quantum Riddler
in
here.
the air.
In the air. So if this trigger resolves, Tony has to feel pretty good, other than the fact that there could maybe be a lot.
This is the target.
There could be a get lost here.
This is the target, and Marco says, okay.
Okay.
An 8.
So
He's
it's
like,
8?
it's 8.
This mills.
Is that cool?
Is all of this fine?
I suppose if there's a get lost, Marco wouldn't do anything at this point anyway, right?
Right.
So Tony doesn't know.
If Tony goes for it here, he will have this game.
Yeah, I think the question is there a downside to him going for it that gets better later, you know?
If somehow Marco has a removal spell,
Yeah.
and then untaps and goes Revelation, and you don't have the mana for Spell Pierce, that could be kind of a rough
That's
situation.
the downside.
So that is what Tony is considering here.
Oh, it looks like we're getting into extra turns here.
Okay.
God, that might
No, not really. I've been doing dailies, and that's about it.
He's not going for it, actually.
Also, just haven't had a lot of time.
should be 8.
So he's going to keep up the Spell Pierce here.
Did I mill for this one?
Oh, no. and he played the sequence, excuse me.
Oh, I thought he did.
Okay, so this is 16.
This is the attack.
So this should do it, right?
What?
He's played the second land. This has been doubled twice. It's 16 damage. You sack the Escape Tunnel.
This is 6.
Oh my god, that poor hand.
You sack the Escape Tunnel, get a basic land. That's 32 damage. And you have.
And he is going to sack it and go for it.
Yeah.
And Tony Portolan is going to deal 32 damage this turn. All Marco can do is say, good game.
Good game.
You got
Wow.
2 players with 2 losses here. Tony Portolan keeps his top 8 dreams very much alive, sets himself up for a potential win in next round, and says, Marco, if you're going to be the one to make top 8, it's not going to be against me. You're going to have to do it next round.
All right, I gotta go.
For the rest of the tournament.
I got at least got one done, but I don't know.
Top 8, so they have the next 2
Or
rounds.
8.
Lock the spot, and if they still fail to do so, well, they can still win that last round and hope.
Wow, that was a really exciting